look at the imbalance in trade between Japan and the United States. They send us millions of cars. We send them beef. And you ought to take a look at a chart sometime and just take a look at the difference between what we send them and what they send us. Mexico, and I respect Mexico, I respect their leaders. What they've done to us is incredible. Their leaders are so much smarter, so much sharper, and it's incredible. In fact, that could be a Mexican plane up there. They're getting ready to attack. So that's the way it is, folks. I just want to say that this is a factory and the legacy, really, of Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, because this legacy is largely due, and you could actually say entirely due, to NAFTA. The plant closed its doors and shipped its jobs to Mexico, China. They did commercial lighting. They were a very big company. I used to do business with them. The real Clinton Global Initiative is their economic plan to ship America's jobs overseas. That's what's happening. Whether we like it, whether we don't like it, it's what's happening. Our country is in serious trouble. We don't have victories anymore. We used to have victories, but we don't have them. When was the last time anybody saw us beating, let's say, China in a trade deal? They kill us. I beat China all the time. All the time. When did we beat Japan at anything? They send their cars over by the millions. And what do? When was the last time you saw a Chevrolet in Tokyo? It doesn't exist, folks. They beat us all the time. When do we beat Mexico at the border? They're laughing at us, at our stupidity.
You stupid.
And now they're beating us economically. They are not our friend, believe me. But they're killing us economically. The U.S. has become a dumping ground for everybody else's problems. Thank you. It's true. And these are the best and the finest. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of money. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. And some, I assume, are good people. But I speak to border guards, and they tell us what we're getting. And it only makes common sense. It only makes common sense. They're sending us not the right people. It's coming from more than Mexico. It's coming from all over South and Latin America, and it's coming probably from the Middle East. But we don't know, because we have no protection, and we have no competence. We don't know what's happening. And it's got to stop. And it's got to stop fast. I just signed 2 executive orders that will save thousands of lives, millions of jobs, and billions of dollars. These 2 orders are part of an immigration reform we outlined during the campaign. I want to emphasize that we will be working in partnership with our friends in Mexico to improve safety and economic opportunity on both sides of the border. I have deep admiration for the people of Mexico, and I greatly look forward to meeting again with the President of Mexico. We'll be doing that shortly. The Secretary of Homeland Security, working with myself and my staff, will begin immediate construction of a border wall. So badly needed. You folks know how badly needed it is. As a help, but very badly needed. This will also help Mexico by deterring illegal immigration from Central America and by disrupting violent cartel networks. As I've said repeatedly to the country, we are going to get the bad ones out. the criminals and the drug deals and gangs and gang members and cartel leaders. The day is over when they can stay in our country and wreak havoc. We are going to get them out, and we're going to get them out fast, and John Kelly is going to lead that way. Our order also does the following: ends the policy of catch and release at the border, requires other countries to take back their criminals. They will take them back. Cracks down on sanctuary cities, empowers ICE officers to target and remove those who pose a threat to public safety, calls for the hiring of another 5,000 Border Patrol officers, calls for the tripling the number of ICE officers. For years, the media has largely ignored the stories of Americans and lawful residents victimized by open borders. To all of those hurting out there, I repeat to you these words: we hear you, we see you, and you will never, ever be ignored again.
The story today is the non-meeting, and this is really stunning. The idea that, first of all, Donald Trump would tweet out to the president of Mexico, "Don't come if you're not paying for the wall,"
right?
And then he would get a response by Twitter from the president of Mexico saying, "Okay, I'm not coming."
Well, he backed him into a corner, didn't he? I mean, if you say maybe it's better the meeting doesn't happen, what is the president of Mexico supposed to say? Oh no, please let it happen? I mean,
that is kind of the situation. I mean, Donald Trump had raised hackles down in Mexico City, a lot of pressure on the Mexican president not to come. They were feeling insulted by the wall and his comments yesterday. And then today, on top of that, saying that if you're not going to pay for the wall, don't bother coming. The surprising thing here is one of the things Trump sold the American people on was that he was a deal maker and he knew how to sit down with people and make deals. But you don't insult somebody and tell them they're incompetent before they even get into the room to make a deal with you. So it's hard to understand how he's going to make progress on this. And while Mexico has more to lose, perhaps, from a collapse of NAFTA, should Trump pull out of that, the United States could still be badly hurt as well.
Kevin Cirelli, are we seeing here the Art of the Deal Washington edition? What do you make of what we've seen on Twitter this morning?
Well, Democrats are going to pounce on this, of course, for this meeting being canceled, if you will. Now, that being said, to Michael's point, I think that the Mexican leaders are definitely taking a look at NAFTA, definitely taking a look at the areas in which U.S. law enforcement officials can help break up drug cartels and can help secure that U.S.-Mexico border. But again, politically speaking, here in the first week, to have a hiccup like this, to say the least, on one of the key central areas in which President Trump campaigned upon is not necessarily a good look by any means. But however, I think when you speak more broadly from a policy standpoint, President Trump's assertion on the first day to remove himself from the Trans-Pacific Partnership and again to be meeting when he returns from Philadelphia in Washington with folks like Senator Orrin Hatch in the White House to discuss trade agreements and more executive actions on foreign policy, all are coming, I think, at a time in which business leaders, not only here in the U.S. but worldwide, are curious and perhaps a bit uncertain with just what their relationship means with this new incoming White House.
And I just want to break in and give a headline that Spicer, the White House Secretary Sean Spicer, is saying that the U.S., quote, will continue to coordinate with Mexico on a meeting and will look for a date in the future with Mexico president. This is...
Well, I think this has to be said, and building on what Kevin just said, this is supposed to be a day of news about the president and his allies in Congress getting together and working on a legislative agenda, and it's supposed to be about the greatest ally of the United States, the United Kingdom, coming to reaffirm that relationship. Instead, all the headlines are going to be about a Twitter feud between Donald Trump and the president of Mexico. And he's stepping on his own message again, which he's been doing regularly throughout this first week in office. And it can't be reassuring to investors or to people overseas. And you saw earlier the report that all these people at the State Department have resigned, concerned about the way things are going.
And just look at U.S. dollar Mexican peso. You know, it's been volatile trading all day.